Hey guys, I just wanted to start this one out with saying that this is mostly audio and there is footage in the background, but it's not great and you don't need to watch it. If you really want to listen to this, this is going to be about Diablo 1, 2, and 3, and me talking about playing them and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to know that kind of things or just listen, have some time to listen to something, it's mostly like a podcast. If you want to watch the footage, it kind of sucks. It's not me playing very good either, but there's that. I just wanted to say this at the start, and that's it. Otherwise, this will be, like I said, about Diablo. I know FTL happened last week, but we'll get back to that. It's just this is a special time, and you'll see that coming up with the more audio. Without that, with that as an introduction, let's get into it with the rest of the pre-recorded whatever. The newest season of Diablo 3 just started, and I love it. I love Diablo. I've always really enjoyed Diablo. So I figured I'd also use this time to be like, here's a little bit about me and how I've played Diablo for so long. If you ever were curious about where I got the name Darksmiter, it came from when I played Diablo 2, actually, was the one that I first played, I believe. And it was kind of like back in middle school, which also I guess would give you an estimate of how old I am. But yeah, I played a shitload of Diablo 2. It's a really fun game. I just played it. I don't remember, it's a long time ago. I haven't played it in a long time, but I remember playing it and enjoying it a bunch. I played as a necromancer, and I loved having, being a zookeeper, as they call it now, and I didn't know that term back then. But yeah, so I just loved having a bunch of skeletons and golem in that one. That's what you could do. Diablo 2 was really cool because it had a bunch of skills. You had skills that you could put points into when you leveled up, and they had different categories, and each class had different things. There was some good depth to it. I think it was a really good game. It was really fun. It obviously captured my attention for a long time. And then I got it's just a good game. It's fantastic. If you've never played Diablo 2, I highly recommend it. It's an old game, so it's not super expensive, but for whatever reason, I think it's not all that cheap either. It's still maybe Diablo 2 and its expansion, which I don't remember the name of. Lord of Destruction, I'm pretty sure is what it is. Those games, I think, Blizzard might charge $20 for them still. Don't quote me on this because I'm not looking at anything right now. But you can get them. If you've never played Diablo 2, you should play Diablo 2. I played it so much. Like I said, it was actually what I started with. Then I went back to Diablo 1, which is hard as fuck. Because, kind of growing up in this era of gaming, like a little bit past the first, I don't know, not boom, but the first major PC home gaming kind of stuff. It's in the next step, I would say, because it basically was into the time where games would auto-save or have checkpoints and stuff like that, and Diablo 2, if you died, you lost some of your gold. I don't remember I think that was just it. Some of your gold went away. And you could store gold in your chest if you wanted to, so that was nice. But yeah, you just lost some of your gold. Not too big a deal. But, you could just come back and then go back out and keep fighting. Diablo 1 was a totally different story because it was an older game. You had to save yourself, manually save. And, excuse me, it was just a harder game. I don't remember too much about it, really. I remember distinctly the beginning of the game because I feel like I started it a lot. I remember, so like, I know the start of that, and I know what happens through the whole game because I did finally beat it once. Well, I beat it once as it stood, as just Diablo, as the warrior, I remember, and like, it was hard. I probably, now playing it as a more understanding about how RPGs work, I'd probably do a lot better, because I think I did a really stupid build for Diablo 1 as the warrior. I gave him like mana and shit. But it was a really fun game. Just like I said, it was hard. It's not like 2 and 3. You can repeat areas, collect extra experience, you can pick up extra drops and all that kind of stuff, and dying doesn't mean you're dead forever and you have to reload. Diablo 1, there was a set number of enemies, there were a set number of quests, there were a set number of whatever items and gold. You could get more of them, but I guess I'm not going to talk about that just yet. But yeah, it was hard. It was a really hard game. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I beat it, and I like beat it legitimately playing through as how you're supposed to. Which was cool. It's a great game. Everybody loves it. From what I remember. So I know like the lore back then. The lore of 1 and 2 is I don't know what the right word is. It's deeper than 3. I feel like 3's story, everybody's kind of like, oh, it's dumb, who cares? But, whatever. But, like, Diablo 1 was really hard, and I played it, like I said, I beat it. I played it again when, there was, I can't remember how I got this, but I got there was an expansion to Diablo 1 that wasn't actually made by Blizzard. It was made by Sierra, and I think that was what it was. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, like, more than just that. Why it wasn't made by Blizzard, whatever. But I played that. I think it was Diablo Hellfire, I want to say, is what it was called. But it basically, there was a new class that added to the game, which was because the original was warrior, like archer. I don't remember what they called it, ranger maybe, and then wizard or sorcerer, or magic. Basically, melee fighter, ranged, and magic were the 3 different classes. But then the Hellfire added a new class called the monk, but like it threw off the balance of the game because they were just like, oh, here's a monk that is all the best parts of the warrior and all the best parts of the wizard. No downsides, really. It was an amazing class because you play through that and you just trounce everything. You just stomp on it all. And it added new areas, which didn't exactly work right. I remember there were sound issues, or maybe that was because I feel like, okay, I'm trying to remember, because there were like new areas that you could explore after a certain, or like, go to after a certain level. One of them was like a gross bug place, and I don't remember what the other one was. But I think that you could change something in the configuration, like the file, and add a line of text that would add a cow quest, because Blizzard had always put the cow jokes, and I think Sierra just kind of wanted to piggyback off of that in the expansion. I'm not sure. Whatever. I just remember that you could play this one where you talk to a guy who wants to be a cow or something. He's like in a cow suit and hanging out with the cows, and he just says moo, and if you keep talking to him or something, he like says, go get me a cow crown. I don't remember what it was, but it added a quest that wasn't in the game originally, like even in the expansion originally. Or, I mean, like it was secret. It was there, instead of like, Easter egg stuff now, where you can usually just poke around in the right areas or do a crazy sequence of things. This one, you had to edit your file and throw an extra thing in there think it also added something else if you did that, but I really don't remember. I don't remember that much about those things. I'm pretty sure I installed the Hellfire, played as the new class, got him leveled up pretty high because I went to the new areas, explored all the new areas, did the new quest, and then just, decided not to play it anymore. It's a good game, but it's not like Diablo 2 it was. It can change constantly. Like, the areas are not... In your one playthrough as one character in Diablo 1, all your areas were static. There were no changes or anything like that. But then in 2, things were different. You could go through and replay stuff all the time. And it did, and you could play it online and play with other people, which I did a little bit, but not too much, because, I don't know, I was like in middle school and not, I guess... just other people knew what they were doing and I didn't. I just wanted to have fun, and I didn't really want to deal with stuff that I didn't even know probably existed, actually, now that I think about it. But whatever. I just remember playing Diablo 2 a lot and enjoying it, and playing Diablo 1, and just, it was much harder. It was still good, but it was kind of a different game, and I just wanted to get through it. To say sake of completion's sake, I guess. But then, I had Diablo 2 for a long time, so at some point, I don't remember, maybe it was after I went online and saw somebody with crazy gear, and I was like, what the hell is going on with this person? And I started, looking stuff up, and then I found out that there were programs that you could run in tandem with the Diablo, and you could make items. Is basically hacking. You could hack items into the game. I mean, whatever. I think they just called it hack. It's like a Diablo hack, but whatever. You could create your own items, and so you could, say, put whatever stats you wanted on it, and you can make super items, and of course, some of those would break the game. The game would crash because it's like, what the fuck is this? I never wanted that in my whatever. But you can make crazy items that do stuff that, only random, super rare things did, or you could give yourself those. But, I had fun making items and being super powerful and just beating up everything. I never really went online with it, because I know it's, against the rules, and they probably could ban you, but I guess I don't know the details of any banning from then. It was a while ago. I just remember that was a lot of fun, messing around with that stuff. It was not like I was saying that, called it hacking, but it's not, there was no actual computer knowledge on my part, other than knowing how to run multiple programs and mess with them at the same time, which, that's, not a huge, it's not I'm a computer genius skill, that kind of stuff. But, it was still fun to mess around with, because, I felt like I wanted to get more out of the game, and I had beaten it before, and made my necromancer super powerful, and all that kind of stuff, so I just what if I go crazy? And Diablo 1 kind of had the same thing, but not exactly, but it was, you could duplicate items. There was, I'm trying to remember, I think you had to set an item on the ground, and click an item in your hotbar at the exact same moment you picked it up off the ground, and you'd get whatever was on the ground, or whatever you picked from your hotbar would turn into whatever was on the ground. So, what I did when I looked that up, I would just get the cheapest potions and trade them, what you're supposed to do. I think would trade them out with the biggest stacks of gold until you just have piles of gold. And the nice thing was that, your town was always static too, so if you run out of space for gold in your inventory, you can just dump gold all over town and no one messes with it. But, somebody in town in that game sold potions that gave you buffs, gave you a point to one of your stats. And so, I think, maybe I did beat the game a second time, I can't remember, but I just know that I was like, oh, look at this, I can just buy all of these potions and max out the stats. I feel like they maxed in that game, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, that was just another way of breaking that game that was kind of fun, because, sometimes a hard game, it's nice when you complete it and you're like, yes, I fucking did it, I'm the best. You get that feeling like a Dark Souls game kind of feels that way too. You beat it and you're like, yeah, I did it. The sense of accomplishment. But then if you go back, sometimes you want to have those ways where you can break it so you can be like, fuck you for beating me all those times. Look, suck on this, bitch, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes a game just frustrates you, so you want to be way better than it. Beat it at its own game, I guess. Whatever. But yeah, so that's like, I've been playing this game, Diablo, for forever. And that's where, like I said, that's where the name of this channel came from. It's the name I use everywhere, pretty much. Darksmiter. I don't remember. This was like, how old are you in middle school? 13, 14, something like that. So, young teenager me was like, man, what would be a cool name? Darksmiter. Because I probably had just learned the word smite recently and was like, smite's a cool thing. And then I was like, but what if it was evil and dark, whatever. I was a middle school kid. I listened to Linkin Park, which I guess isn't to say anything bad about people who still listen to Linkin Park, but I don't feel like that. Whatever. That's an entirely different topic. Anyway, yeah, so I just, like I'm saying, I played a ton of these games. And then Diablo 3 came out, and I think I got it when it released. Like, I either got it for that year on my birthday or Christmas or something like that. And then just didn't play it. I don't remember why. I didn't play it for like a year or maybe more. But I didn't play it for a long time. I know there was a lot of problems that people had early on. Some people, I don't know. The auction house, if you go back and look at stuff from that time, I don't know, people have feelings about it. I know one of my friends is like, hey, it was great, man. You could buy whatever item you wanted and get like super powerful with no problem and get infinite gold kind of thing or whatever. And it's like, oh, that doesn't sound like too bad. But then it was like, you could put real money into it and like just jump into a game and buy all the shit and be amazing. And I don't know. I never experienced it, so I don't really know what everybody's problem, or the people that had problems with it were. But whatever. They took it out, and then, without meaning to do that, that's when I started playing. I've been playing Diablo 3 for a long time. Like I said, the season's just started. This is season 5. And I've been playing since season 2. Just kind of dicking around by myself because I didn't know that anyone else I knew had the game. So, sitting in Diablo by myself, not playing with anybody else, and, just running through it on my own, which I think is a fine thing to do in the game. I know, like, it's a big game now. Streamers do it and whatever, but, there's huge community behind it. But now I've got some friends to play with, so I play with them usually. It's a great game. I think it's fun. The seasons are fantastic because it's just like, here is Diablo 3. You have to start over level 1 with a new character, or the same character set back, which is a new thing. And, you have to do different accomplishments. And it's like, they add new stuff and all these things, and it's just a very minor addition, I guess. The more recent one's not so minor. They added a whole bunch of shit. But, they add some new things and new weapons and whatever, and it's like, it feels like a whole new game. I think the seasons are an amazing idea for them. I love it. I hope it goes on for a long time, really. But yeah, so with the new season, I figured, why not have a day where we talk about Diablo? This is the hangout. I could finally focus a conversation about something, because, that's what it is. And I guess, like I was saying, I've been doing the seasons for a while, but it wasn't until last season, and then following this season, because we're playing the same way, that, I actually started paying attention to things. Before, it was just like, what's fun? And just, well, what's something I enjoy? I just mostly did Witch Doctor because I like to be a zookeeper. But, yeah, I was wondering, like, how am I trying to say this? I was shown that different classes have different builds, and these builds, people figure out which, I guess, Icy Veins is a website that's got all these kinds of things, mostly Blizzard stuff, where they have the builds for these kind of things. So you can, like, look up a class and see what is a really powerful setup and how to play it. They're wonderful. That's what I use because I'm not, like, on the bleeding edge of Diablo tech, I guess, because there's obviously people that are. There's streamers, I think, is where most of these builds come from, which, I mean, you know, thank you guys for doing that and testing out shit. But they build these sets and this, like, build for a character, and this is how you get to high levels and do crazy damage, and that's been really fun. It's totally different to how I used to play any Diablo game, but this one also. It's great. It's fun to go really high up and earn a bunch of things, because this game, like, compared to Diablo 2, they cut down on some stuff, so skills are not as, what's the way to say this? Not in depth. They don't have the same depth. There's still a lot of options, but like Diablo 2, you could build a character to be something you wanted. This game, less so, but that's where, like, it's all kind of gear-based. You know, choices of the skills and stuff help, but most of it comes from the gear, and the gear will also kind of tell you what you should be using, depending. There's just how it works. I mean, if you play Diablo and play it in the same way that I am, you understand this. If you've never done that, or never played Diablo 3, I would highly recommend it. It's really fun. You can probably find me there from watching the video in the background. But, you know, if you play it and you've never done it this way, look into it, give it a shot. I mean, because maybe this is fun, maybe it's not fun for you. It's fun for me. It's fun for me and my friends. We like doing it. I like doing it, so I'm going to keep doing it. But, you know, because the game's kind of also all about getting things. And it's nice to get more and more things. Although, you know, my digital inventory spaces in the game is, like, running out overall. But that's a problem for future me. It's just, as like I said, it's a really fun game. And I'm happy to keep playing it. And I love that, I know, reading some forum comments and stuff, that people complain about things, which is fair. It's it's one of those places where it's like the internet, the thing that the internet does, where either if you bring up a complaint about something, that means you're saying, like, fuck you, I hate everything about this. It's not that, because people will complain when a new patch start talking about it. People say, well, oh, I'm happy that you're fixing these things, or I'm happy that you're adding new content, but it would be nice if you could attend to this thing, which, you know, I think it's just people voicing their opinions and their problems that they have currently. But, you know, other people yell at them for being like, they're giving you free updates and stuff and you're complaining. It's kind of just one of those places, you know, to ignore. But yeah, so, like, it's nice because every season is free more content. It's wonderful. I mean, the expansion and the game itself together, kind of pricey, but not unreasonable with the amount of content that exists now. I mean, at the time, too, it had a lot more stuff. But, you know, the game, it's hard. I guess it's also would be hard to compare if you didn't play it from a while ago until now. But, like, if you jumped in right now, you'd be like, holy shit, this is a big game. Because there is a lot of stuff to do, especially if you've never done any of it before. There's all the story mode. When you start a season and you've done all that stuff before, story mode is kind of like, why would I play this? Ever since I'm trying to remember. I think season 3, maybe? They changed how it works. So, like, season 2, all the achievements the game has were just plopped back in. So it's like you can play the whole game over again. But now in the more newer seasons, there's specific like conquest goals that you have to go through that do that. And I mean, achievements never mean anything, but I still have fun chasing them down. I mean, you unlock some cool stuff in these new things, like pets and pictures and things. I would love it if you would unlock wings somewhere, because I don't have any. I just have to wait until I buy a special edition of StarCraft, which I love StarCraft. Maybe I'll do one of these where a little bit of a StarCraft game is running in the background. Although I'm not very good at StarCraft 2. But yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of wraps it up. There's a lot to do with Diablo 3. I love it. I'm playing it so much. When a new season starts, I put far too much time into it. Way too much. I probably shouldn't do as much. And, I guess I should have started with this. This is a video that's just mostly me talking. If you want to know about my history and love of Diablo, you can just listen. The video, because I don't know how great the quality of the video is. I need to work with my recording stuff because I feel like it's got some issues, but I feel like they're fixable. It's because it's just, not, it's not whatever everybody uses that it feels like. I mean, maybe I don't know, because I don't see behind the scenes of other recording people that, like, it seems like if you get the good stuff, you just, open it up, have the recording set to the thing, and then hit record, and it's like, whoa, perfect. But maybe it requires a lot of fiddling, too. But still, if you want to see this with, like, little skippy jumps in there, that's Diablo. And that's me talking about Diablo. That's pretty much it. If you play Diablo and think you want to play with me or something, I'm Darksmiter on there. Find me on BattleNet or Diablo. You could also play other Blizzard games. But yeah, if you have any stories about Diablo or whatever, leave them in the comments. Let's talk about Diablo some more. I'm always happy to do that. Maybe this will be a thing I'll stream at some point. I'm not like, top tier amazing at the game or anything like that, so it's just gonna be me playing Diablo and getting excited about picking up gears. But with that, I hope you guys have a good Sunday and the rest of your week is fantastic, and look forward to the same old videos that are always going to be out there. As always, thanks for listening and watching. If you all that stuff, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share, be a cool person, and do all those things. Thanks, guys. That's it.